Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Well, it's a soggy beginning for your day in the Pacific Northwest, and that wet start extends down the California coast, and by late today, I'd say rain in the Bay Area. Good afternoon. Welcome to Weather Center, sponsored by CompuServe. I'm Bill Keneally.
And I'm Dan Atkinson. It's been a wet couple of days for the southern states as well, but you're going to see the rainy weather finally wrap up today. The Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. stands shrouded by dreary, overcast conditions. Rain is easing up in the nation's capital, but will still continue for most of your day. And even when you finally get a clear break in the rain, the threat for more precipitation will continue into the evening. Downtown Atlanta is rarely bustling on Sunday mornings, but today's rain helped make sure traffic was extremely light. Anyone taking a walk had to be bundled up against temperatures in the 40s. The rain's over in Atlanta, but the clouds will linger. Look for a high in the lower 50s. You can see the rainy area making its way slowly on up into the mid-Atlantic states after having doused the southeast yesterday. A couple of low-pressure centers, waves that have formed along this nearly stationary front, helping to pull in Gulf moisture and Atlantic moisture, and particularly widespread rain over the Delmarva and areas like Wrightstown and Trenton, New Jersey, now getting some light rain, and could well be extending into the New York City area during the late afternoon. But at this point, the precipitation is to your south in the Big Apple. Getting a little rain around Philadelphia, primarily the southern suburbs of Philadelphia, but certainly rain surrounding you in the Washington, D.C. area, and that is good news. You've had drought conditions around Washington and many other areas through this part of the country, and so the rain is certainly welcome. It extends on back into the Ohio Valley as well. Light rain for the most part, with occasionally some moderate to heavy rain. You've had a rainy weekend in Lexington, but today will be a bit drier than yesterday. Yesterday, rain was widespread across Tennessee and Kentucky, and also you had some sprinkles in Cincinnati. Once again, you're getting some showers there along the Ohio River. In the state of Georgia, some drier air coming in. Low pressure tracking along this frontal zone, helping to trigger some rain across South Georgia. Some rain pushing now into the Augusta, Georgia area. And looking back over the storm totals for some of the southeastern cities, Crossville, Tennessee, you're at the top of the list. Almost 3.5 inches of rain. Hampton, Virginia, 2 1/3. Bristol, Tennessee, better than 2 inches, and more than an inch of rain has fallen so far at Salisbury, Maryland. These are totals through 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Showers now sweeping across the Carolinas. Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, on down toward Columbia, South Carolina. Looks like you're going to be in for some moderate, possibly some brief heavy rain as the rain sweeps in along Interstate 20. If you're going to be driving today along the I-95 corridor through the Carolinas, for now, a large stretch of it is dry, but before long, this line of showers is going to be right along I-95, so it could well be a very wet ride for you as you head through the eastern sections of the Carolinas. And the same line of showers dropping on down through Florida, that associated with the frontal system. And earlier there was a little bit of thunder and lightning with some cells here west of Fort Myers, but latest indications are those lightning strikes have diminished, but you are getting some light rain now in the Tampa-St. Petersburg area as well as the Jacksonville Naval Air Station. And temperatures across the south are generally in the 40s in areas which have been rain-cooled, but you're at 82 degrees now in Miami. Across the northeast, 45 in Boston, mid-40s in New York City, and the wind chill is as low as 35 in Albany and 26 in Caribou. That's what's happening in the east. Let's find out about the west from Bill.
All right, Dan, thanks a lot. While the plains are mild and dry, wet weather is making its move inland from the Pacific Northwest. Rain extends from Seattle into northern California, and while snow levels temporarily are above major passes, look for those levels to fall as the colder air pours in off of the Pacific Ocean later on today. Let's show you the weather map, see what's happening out here. We continue to find that front making headway. It's now just about over the Puget Sound area. The trailing front is cutting down the northern Oregon coast, and therefore the winds, which had been from the south and southeast, are now more from the north over about the northern half of the Oregon coast. The good news there, it's cutting the wind speed down quite a bit now. The west and northwest wind not near as windy as it was earlier today. Earlier, Cape Blanco, for instance, had winds gusting better than 60 miles per hour, but they are starting to diminish. However, that said, it will get windier down the northern California coast as that southwest wind increases, and it looks like there's a pretty good wave of low pressure that's going to come ashore later on today. The rain has been very prominent, especially north of here. Let's check out these numbers. Forks on the Washington coast, about 5 inches. Shelton in the foothills of the Olympics, about 3.8. Astoria on the Oregon coast, closing in on 3. And there's SeaTac at 2, and Portland, just over an inch of rainfall. Mild air accompanying all that. 51 in the Rose City, 35 in Boise. Cold air trapped, however, in Salt Lake City at 29 degrees. Pretty typical feature this time of the year. The wind is blowing, it's downsloping, and it's 45, well on its way to near 60 by day's end in Denver. And speaking of 60, we sit there now in Phoenix. All right, there's that wave I talked about that's going to crash ashore on the California coast later on today. Cloud cover, a portender of wetter times ahead in the Bay Area. We'll likely see some rain in San Francisco late in the afternoon. Hanging on to a real nice day from Santa Barbara down to San Diego. I think it qualifies as a beach day. Meanwhile, the northwest, we have rain, Coeur d'Alene, Spokane area. This is all rain on 90 today. Temperature in the mid-40s, raining around Snoqualmie as well. Portland catching a break, but Seattle, as you can see, still kind of wet, especially from Shelton and along the Hood Canal, and then more rain turning to snow as you get up around 5,000 feet there east of Bellingham at Mount Baker. For now, 2 and 90 are wet, but watch for snow levels to fall later on today. Tahoe Basin, not much happening now. There's going to be some snow in the North Sierra and some rain likely in the 5 later on today, but that's going to take a little while to get going. But it will get heavier, I think, late today and tonight as we get towards the bewitching hour. Could see as much as 6 inches of snow above 8,000 feet. So it will be generally above lake level initially, but then start coming down later on tonight for the Tahoe Basin. So travelers, factor that in along I-80 and Highway 50. Still squeezing out a pretty good evening, I think, down towards Los Angeles. Enjoy it while you have it. Eventually some rain coming at you. The rain and that whole messy pattern pulls east reluctantly over the northeastern seaboard, and I think colder high pressure builds in. So after a cloudier day in Boston, maybe some peaks of sun, drier and sunnier coming up on Monday. This system is going to get bogged down a little bit. There's an upper low still in the southeast. Don't look for a whole lot of improvement in the likes of Nashville and Atlanta and Columbia. I think we'll be rain-free for the most part, but it will be pretty murky out there and really kind of raw. Heavier rainfall right there on the middle Atlantic shore, Atlantic City down to about the tidewater. May see another ½ an inch. Heavier rain building in the Bay Area by tonight. And again, not a whole lot of cold air to talk about out there. In the lee of the Rockies, we're talking about, how about that, Dan? Look at that, 60s up there by Devil's Tower and maybe in the Black Hills area in South Dakota. Not too tough to take.
And not only warm winds, but kicking up to speed could affect your travel. Stay with us. We'll tell you all about that.
This program was sponsored by new CompuServe 4.0. Everything you need online and more of it.
New CompuServe 4.0. Research, powerful information, business news, email, the internet. Everything you need online. Complete, comprehensive CompuServe. Call now.